Welcome to Content Camp.
Hello, everybody. Indeed, welcome to another edition of Content Camp. Today, we're interviewing Laura Varnau. She is a travel agent. Laura, what exactly is a travel agent?
Well, I help people plan their vacations, basically. In a nutshell.
So, like, when you say plan a vacation, like, are they just like, we want to go somewhere, or do they give you parameters of like, we don't want to do this, or?
It depends. I specialize in Disney, Hawaii, and then cruises, and specifically like river cruises and small ship cruising. And when I say specialize in it, I know those things really well. Mm-hmm. So I try to get clients that are interested in that kind of travel. Now, someone may come to me and say, oh, we want to go to an all-inclusive resort in Mexico. And I may pass them off to one of my colleagues who's better at that. I just want to sell, honestly, what I'm an expert in, because I want to make sure they're going to have the best experience.
What makes you an expert in Hawaii or Disney cruises?
Oh, I go there all the time.
So is that like when you do you just choose a place like, I'm going to be good at this and go there and study it?
Yeah, I did. Basically, they, the coaches, business coaches call it a niche. Some people say niche, but anyway, they say pick your niche and just find what you're passionate about. So, I mean, we travel to Europe and we do a lot of traveling, but those are the things that I really enjoy. And it's not just going there that makes me an expert. I spend my days immersed in the travel industry. So, webinars, I attend probably 2 or 3 webinars a week, training. Each destination, each ship has their online training that we do, and we get certified and things like that. So it's kind of just diving in and learning everything possible about these places.
So where did you grow up? Did you grow up in Indy?
I did. I have been here my whole life. Well, I take that back. We moved away for a while, but then we came back. So yeah, always been here. I love Indiana. I love living here. But Indiana makes travel really sweet too, because, we don't have all the scenery and everything else. So it just makes travel that much more enjoyable.
Yeah. How did you first get into travel?
Well, my whole adult life, I just wanted to be a travel agent. And so I graduated from Purdue. And when I first got out of school, I wanted to be a travel agent. And they had travel school back then. It was actually at Glendale Mall. And I honestly we didn't have the money for me to go to more school. And the salary was so horrible. It was like I just couldn't afford to do it. So I kind of put it on the back burner. And then in 2019, I discovered that travel agents were home-based and they were doing remote work, and you could do all the training online. And I thought, okay, I am going to do this. So I did a whole bunch of training. I got everything ready. I'm self-employed. So, I had to do the whole thing with getting the LLC for the business and just all the branding and all that. And so I launched my home-based travel agency on January 1st, 2020. Wah, wah, wah. So, March, the pandemic comes along and shuts everything down. So I spent the rest of 2020 learning everything I could about all the different software that travel agents use, and travel marketing and social media and newsletters and blogs, the whole deal. So I spent my whole year doing that because I thought, I'm going to be ready when this pandemic ends. I'm going to be a great travel agent. And during that time, I started realizing this is the stuff I really like. I don't think I want to sell travel. I just think I want to support travel agents. So I actually became a virtual assistant first. So travel agents were my clients, and I was doing a lot of marketing work for them. I was creating social media, doing a lot of content writing, things like that, doing some of their back end office stuff. So I did that for 5 years. And then last summer in 2025, one of my clients said, I need to bring on another agent. I'm too busy and I don't know who to talk to. And she said, I have way too many Disney clients and I can't keep up. And I said, well, I'd love to toss my hat in the ring if you're interested. And she said, yeah, let's do it. So I became a travel agent then. And so I started off with just Disney. I'm so passionate about Disney. And I know it inside and out. I know it like the back of my hand. It's very hard to plan. And so I decided that's going to be my thing. I'm going to plan Disney. Well, I found out quickly that people my age don't care about Disney anymore. Gray hair. We're not doing Disney. And so, people take their grandkids there and I help families plan and things like that. But my immediate network, they're doing more things like river cruising in Europe or small ship cruises and things like that and going to Hawaii. So that's why I kind of expanded. So I'm sorry, that was a very long answer to your question.
Yeah. When you say client, is that like, are people like kind of one-off clients, or do they stick with you and kind of like similar to a lawyer?
Yeah, hopefully they stick with me if I do a good job. Now with Disney though, it's kind of tricky because a lot of people, they go to Disney once, which I don't understand, but I mean, I could go back every year, but some people, they go, it's a one and done, it's a very expensive vacation, or maybe their kids get old and they stop going. So that's why it helps then to have other things. Or if you've been to the Disney parks, let's try a Disney cruise next. And after you've cruised for a while, let's move up to, and your kids are gone and you're looking for maybe a more adult experience, things like that. So that's how we'll keep people around.
So what do you find that is like most common for like families, like just like new adults and like older, like elders?
So families, a lot of families go to Disney World. A lot of families do all-inclusive resorts, like in Mexico. That's the most popular one. A lot of families like to do road trips, and they're great places to see in the United States, things like that. And then, once we become empty nesters and retirees, like I love Virgin Voyages. They're really fun cruise line, and it's adults only, 18 and up. And so it's just a whole different vibe. And, people sometimes when they hear, Virgin's got a reputation and they think, oh, it's going to be a party boat. It's all adults. It's going to be a party boat. And it's just not like that at all. Not at all. And it's really fun. I really like Virgin Voyages.
Yeah. How do you study cruises? Like, do you go on cruises yourself and like really take notes? Really?
Yeah, I do. And then I just, they're called suppliers. So Royal Caribbean is a supplier, Virgin Voyages is a supplier. They all have their own travel agent portals online, and then they have their own training programs.
Really?
And then they have meetings. Like Monday night, I was down in Greenwood because there was a representative from Virgin Voyages down there, and he was doing some training with travel agents.
So what do you find is most common? Like, so if one of our families were to go in and say, hey, we want to go on a cruise, what cruise line would you put us in?
Well, for a family, I would always choose Royal Caribbean. They have everything on their ships. I mean, climbing walls, go-karts, water slides, the whole deal. They have also kids clubs. So if kids are little and they want to go do something during the day, and the parents, maybe hang by the pool or whatever. But Royal Caribbean's got something going on for everyone. And it's just a real solid product.
Yeah. So what is your favorite part about being a travel agent?
Traveling.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I'm just passionate about it. It lights me up. So anytime someone wants to talk about travel, I am all in.
Yeah. How often do you actually travel?
I would say I would love to go every month, but I would say probably more like 6 times a year, maybe. It depends. I go to Disney World. I've already been to Disney World twice this year, and I'm going again next month. And those trips I go by myself because my husband He's just not into Disney at all. When our sons got older, he said, okay, now we're done with Disney World, right? So I still go. And honestly, it's research every time. So this one I'm going on in September, I'm staying off site. So I'm not staying in one of Disney's hotels. And that's a completely different experience. And I can already tell I'm not going to like it. And I'm just going for the research, basically.
Yeah.
Going to the Halloween party while I'm
So
there.
I travel a lot, but that's because
Yep.
my sister is AAU basketball. So we're like
Oh,
going to
great.
Cincinnati, Kentucky, and then we were just in Cleveland. Because one of my dad's work trips. But it's not very often that like we go somewhere just for us. So like there's always something else, like there's always a side quest we have to do there. So it's like my sister has basketball, we go like Cincinnati for basketball. Or something else. But like we've been to California once, and that was sister's basketball, but we don't
Yeah.
travel very often.
You know, when I was a kid, we did not travel at all. My mom was terrified of flying. My dad hated driving. So we just didn't go anywhere. But my mom, every summer, my mom would take, I have two sisters, so she would take us 3 girls to Cincinnati, and we would stay at this hotel called the Carousel Inn. We'd stay there for a week. We had a blast. We'd go in the pool. We'd play shuffleboard, you know, go to dinner every night. That was it. And until I was in college, I think. Yeah. Well, I went to Florida for spring break. But yeah, that's when I really started traveling. And then we didn't go to Europe until 2014 when my kids were in college. So yeah, I mean, it's always going to be there.
Is most of your work like out of country, or do you have stuff within? Or I guess you did say Hawaii. Never mind.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, people don't need travel agents with all the online stuff that's available these days, you know. They don't always need a travel agent, and that's fine. But the people that do are like busy moms that don't have time to plan a family vacation, or working professionals, or maybe retirees who aren't very computer savvy, or people that just aren't interested in it. I mean, it takes a whole lot of research. And people that plan their own, they love it. They love planning, which is how I was. And so, you know, go for it. There's podcasts, you know, blogs, YouTube videos, Facebook groups where you can get all the information, but it just takes a whole lot of time. So, and I'm sorry, but I forgot what your question was.
Yeah, like where I was gonna say, do you have much like out of country?
That's right. That's what you asked me. So, anyway, yeah, I don't. A lot of travel agents don't do domestic travel in country because it is just so easy. I mean, pretty much you got to book a hotel. You can find a hotel, and you generally know what you want to do, and you rent a car. It's the trickier things. Now, Disney, like I said, that's a beast. It's not easy to plan. So a lot of people get a travel agent for that. Same with Hawaii, with there being, there are 4 main islands that people travel to, and there's a whole lot to know because each island is different. So it's the things that just require more knowledge that I do. A lot of travel agents, they plan Europe, and they do, it's called FIT, which stands for fully independent travel. So somebody's like, I want to go to Italy, and I want to go to Rome, Florence, and Venice. But they don't want to go with a big group or anything. They want to be independent. So those travel agents plan that. And I just don't do that. It's just way too much. I love to travel that way, but that is way too much research, and I just don't know it well enough.
So what would you say like the ups and downs are to the 4 main Hawaii islands?
Oh, wow. I love Hawaii. So, you know, like Oahu, we were just at Oahu in May, and it's the most densely populated, and it's very crowded. So we were at Waikiki Beach. Kind of felt like Miami Beach. And then we split our stay, and we went to the other side of the island where it's nice and quiet. We actually went to Aulani, which is owned by Disney. I don't know if you've ever watched American Idol, but they filmed some stuff there. So anyway, that's what Oahu to me feels more like the United States. But then when you get to the Big Island, oh my gosh, it is so cool. They've had, you know, the volcanoes, and parts of it look like Mars, just black rocks everywhere. And then Maui is kind of like quintessential Hawaii, what you'd think of, real lush, green, beautiful plants and all this. So you each island's just a little different. Kauai, we've not been to yet. It's the one we haven't been to. And we haven't gone because people have told us that we might get bored. There's just, we're pretty active, and there's a lot of outdoor stuff, but it's just very different, very quiet at night.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll get there eventually.
And like, does anybody ask like specifically to go to a certain island?
Yeah, they do. And you know, some people will say, well, we have a week and we want to go to 3 islands. And so then I just try to steer them away from that, because it takes a whole lot. Anytime you change islands, they're like, well, it's a 30-minute flight. Well, it is, but you got to pack, check out, get to the airport, sit around, get on the plane, get to the next place, rent your car, check it. You lose almost a full day every time you switch islands. So if someone's got a week, I would steer them towards staying on one island and maybe doing a split stay in 2 different resorts, like we just did in Oahu.
Have you ever thought about like expanding your research into like different areas, or are you just like, I'm just all in on this stuff right now, just because I want to know it really well. I don't want to try to guess at anything when I'm helping people, although I do have really great resources, mostly Facebook groups. There's a bunch of Facebook groups like travel agents selling Iceland and travel agents selling Alaska. And I would just go into one of those Facebook groups and say, hey, I've got a couple who wants this, and you know, is this a decent resort, or what do you think, or what should I do? And I can get help all over the place. But I still would rather stick to the things that I really know well.
So how many people do you like is being a travel agent a good paying job?
Well, it's not right now, if I'm being honest. Well, no. So here's the way it works. I don't get paid until after you travel. So what people will do is they'll call, or they'll be like, hey, can I pick your brain? Or, you know, you're at a dinner party or something. Hey, can I ask you about this and that? And I give them all the information, and then they take it and book it themselves. So then I've done the work and not made any money. So the only way I make money is when people book it through me, and then I get paid after they travel. So the reason I say it's not right now is because it's been a really slow summer, and it's been a really weird year for travel, honestly. Just a lot of unrest in the world and in the economy and things like that. And people, I think, are just kind of sitting and waiting, because I know all of my colleagues, like I said, those Facebook groups, same conversations are going on, like, hey, I'm dead right now. So I'm not too worried about it. I'm enjoying my summer and spending a lot of time learning more.
Yeah. What do you learn about? Like, what else is there to learn about traveling?
Well, so for instance, I took a course a few months ago on how to start a private Facebook group. In fact, your dad joined it. And it's just a travel group. It's really fun and silly, and you know, I post funny questions, but I also will post something of value once or twice a day. I'm in there about 3 or 4 times a day posting stuff, and it's a great way to just develop relationships, because it's a relationship business, you know. And so I took, you know, I have that kind of course, and I'm really bad. I'll buy any course that anybody's selling. I love to buy a course and learn. So I've got, you know, another one about, it's called Propose to Close, and it teaches you, it's about sales basically, and how to close a deal and how to get through the process. So I've always got courses like that. I've got some courses waiting in the wings. One of them is how to start a podcast. So yeah, there's plenty to do.
So, what's your favorite part about I asked this before, but like, how many people do you get like come to you and ask you for something specific that you can't like do?
Yeah, I have some people that will refer things to me, not too often, maybe once every couple months or so. And the good thing is, I know a lot of travel agents, and so I'll just say, you know, let me refer you to my colleague, and then I'll introduce them by email.
Yeah. So what do you consider a colleague? Like, is that just someone you know that's in the
business?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know any travel agents in town. we're all over. And mostly it's super helpful because I did that virtual assistant business. So I had clients all over the country. And so now we've become friends, and they're the ones I'll call. I have someone who knows Europe inside and out. So I just send everybody to her.
Do you work from home or like in an office?
I work from home. I love it.
So how is there a way to do it from an office, and like are there pros to working in an office?
You know, there aren't too many. They call them a brick and mortar. There aren't too many brick and mortar agencies left, but there are some. And honestly, I don't know what the pros would be because I just enjoy working at home. I guess it would be easier to get clients for sure because you've got people walking in off the street. That's the biggest battle, not battle, I don't know, struggle. It's a sales job, you know, finding clients.
Also, what do you have to major in to actually be a travel agent?
Well, you don't have to major in anything, really. I mean, you don't even have to have a college degree. You just have to be determined and have a lot of self-discipline and love it and have an interest to learn. You know, but so when I went to college, I studied public relations, which really doesn't have much of anything to do with travel. But there is tourism and hospitality is a major that's probably pretty good, you know, but they also have online, like I could get certified and be a certified travel agent. It's called a CTA. Or they have certified cruise certifications, things like that. But
yeah. So when you plan a trip for someone, do you ever plan something and then like, okay, you're going to go here and you're going to go see this? And do they kind of revolt to some things?
No, because I don't let it get to that point. So I'm in touch with them a lot before they leave. And then I also do, when they first contact me, I do what's called a qualifying consultation call, find out exactly what they have in mind and ask them questions like, you know, what was your favorite vacation in the past? And what did you like about that? And what hotels have you stayed in? So I have a feeling for what type, you know, are they a boutique hotel person or are they a Marriott person, things like that. So usually I have a pretty good handle on it. And then I'm in touch with them throughout the planning. Disney, what happens is they start looking at the itinerary and then they just start going, because Disney has just made it difficult. When my kids were little, honestly, we would buy our tickets. I don't know, maybe we even bought them when we got there and we'd go in the parks, and it just doesn't work that way anymore. You have to have a plan. You have to know what parks you're going to on which day, because dining reservations open up 60 days in advance, and everybody wants to go to Cinderella's Royal Table. So like one of the things I do for my Disney clients, 60 days before their travel, when their dining reservations open, I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and get into their account and make their dining reservations for them so they don't have to. And then I don't know if you're familiar with something called lightning lanes, but it used to be called Fast Pass.
Yeah.
And lightning lanes open up 7 days before they go. And that's where things get crazy because there are certain rides that, you know, they're gone like that. So I also get up at 7 that morning and I get there and I talk to them extensively beforehand. You know, what rides are important to you? When you go in this park, what rides do you really want? You know, and I get in there on my app. It's like this adrenaline rush. Gotta get it. Flight of passage, you know. So anyway, there's just a whole lot of communication, and hopefully they're happy with what they get by the time they leave. And then the other thing is I build their itinerary in this software, and then they use an app. And software I use is called Travel Joy. So I send their itinerary to them, and then when they're traveling, they just go into the app and they can find each day. And it's got all their confirmations for everything they're doing and stuff.
So you like build their schedule for them?
Yeah.
Like, so what do you want to do? What rides do you like? What's your like favorite kind of food? Like, what's your favorite place?
Yep.
And then you just go in and build the schedule for them?
Yep. And I even have this software that will, like I'll plug in they tell me what rides that are really important to them, and I'll put those in, And I'll even say they've got a dining reservation at this time. And then the software spits it out and says, here's the best plan for them. And it says, go to this ride and then go to this ride and go to this ride. And some people get freaked out by that, understandably. They're like, yeah, no. You know, who that's not a vacation. That's like, and so then, you know, other people, I'll tell them, just give me 3 rides. Let's just make sure you get on those, and the rest of the time you can. That's how I do Disney. I don't want it planned out to the minute. That kind of drives me crazy. But just depends on their personalities.
Do they want it like they want to be able to get the 3 rides they really want done, and then they can go do the rest?
Yeah.
Any other time they don't want it to be like a to-do list?
Exactly. That's the word I was looking for, a to-do list. Yeah.
So how do you get paid? Does it come out of like the person who is asking for you to plan it?
No, it does not. I get paid a commission.
Really?
So Disney pays me a commission. Virgin Voyages pays me a commission. Now, a lot of travel agents will charge planning fees, and I don't. Someday, if I get so busy that I can't even handle the business I've got, I might start charging planning fees. But the commissions that I get are pretty nice. And so, you know, the people that are doing like those Europe trips I talked about, the fully independent travel, they need to charge a planning fee because that's a heck of a lot of work, you know, to put that stuff together. But cruise is really easy. You know, I'll book your hotels. I always tell people to fly in a day early. I'll book that hotel and their transportation and their cruise, and they're good. So,
yeah. So if you don't charge a planning fee, those people don't pay you, do they?
No.
That's
no,
pretty
anybody that works with me, it doesn't cost them anything. And you know what? I'm going to take these off because they're sliding up and they're about to pop off my head anyway. What was we were talking about? Oh yeah, it doesn't cost them anything. And so some people, though, they're very concerned about finding the best deal. And so I'll send them a proposal, and then they're like, I found this on Expedia, you know, and they want to save $50 or $100 or something. I can't do anything about that. So if that's that important to you, then you can go ahead and I just tell them, you know, go ahead and book it. That's a great deal. So I'm not about the best deal, but I will say I get, like with Disney and cruises, I get the same pricing that you would if you booked it yourself online. Now with cruises, so I work for a really big agency. It's kind of a weird business model, but anyway, I'm independent contractor and I'm self-employed, but I work for a big agency that's got like 3,000 agents. So they've got really great buying power, which means they can offer perks to us. So if you book that Virgin Voyage cruise online, you get the same price I do, but I could probably throw in an extra $100 in onboard credit. You know, just little perks like that.
Yeah.
So.
So like, if somebody were to walk in and say, "Hey, what should we do?" and they have like a family of 6, what would you recommend to them?
Gosh, depends on, you know. First, we'd have to narrow it down. Like sometimes people will say, "Oh, we want to go somewhere warm in January." That's just too much, too big. Where do you want to go? So that's where we would start first, is figuring out, you know, is your family active? Are you happy flying to an all-inclusive resort and sitting on the beach and enjoying the pool? You know, just kind of have to see a little more of what they're trying to accomplish.
Yeah. So is it like more of like, do you ever take like the age of their kids and like, it's like, hey, like if the kids are active, like, hey, this is a better place for you to go?
Yep, definitely.
And then do you pay your money when you're booking it, or do you like spend the company's money?
Oh, so that's a great question. Actually, what I do is I send them a credit card authorization. So I'll send them an invoice and say, your deposit's $300, and they have to give me their credit card number, and then they have to sign the authorization. This says I'm authorized to charge their card. So I take their credit card number, and then I call Disney, and I make the payment on their behalf. So there's no money coming to me or through me or anything like that. It's just
You're like the
using their credit
middleman.
card to
You're
pay.
like the middleman almost.
Yeah, exactly.
And then has anybody like ever like declined the authorization, like they didn't realize that they had to pay for it all? they just realized that they just thought like, oh yeah, they'll pay for it. I get like a free trip.
Nope, not yet.
Have you,
Sometimes their credit cards do get declined, but that might be because their credit card company's like, I don't recognize this. We're going to decline it. And then we get it straightened out.
have you ever gotten someone who wanted to pay in cash?
No.
Really?
There are people who do it, especially elderly people, maybe they want to write a check or something like that. But I have not had that.
What's like? How do you do that if they want to pay in cash?
Well, they would really need to. I mean, some places might take a transfer if they wanted to write a check or something. If they came to me that way, I think I would just tell them to get to use like a debit card, because that's going to be cash coming out of their account.
Yeah.
But it would never be like they pay you the certain amount of money that it cost, and then you pay the place. No.
No, I would be horribly uncomfortable with that. There are some travel agents that work that way. Like if they've got a big group going, if a group trip, they don't want to, gather 20, 30, 50 credit cards. So they want to just pay it all together. And it's kind of complicated to explain, but they'll put it all into one fund and then make one payment with it. But I've not done any groups, and I'm not doing a very good job explaining that because I've never done it.
So it's only like if it was a big group
Yeah.
that a travel agency would like have the group pay them, and then they would pay the
Yeah.
place.
We're actually not supposed to take any money from anybody. It can get pretty. There was a travel agent a year or two ago. I hate to even tell the story, but she booked a bunch of people on a group cruise. So they were all going to travel together, and they showed up that day at the ship, and there were no reservations because the travel agent had just taken the money and never booked the cruise. So hopefully she's in jail now. I never heard what came of that, but yeah, that's why I don't want to mess with anybody's money.
Yeah.
So if they offer you money, like a tip or something, you don't take it.
No. I mean, I could take it if it was a tip. Yeah. I just wouldn't take their money to pay someone else.
Yeah.
So, Laura, so if somebody were to want to come travel and find a good place to go to, like Disney or Hawaii, how would they find you?
Well, the name of my business is Wishes and Waves Travel, and my website is Wishes and Waves Travel LV, which are my initials. And I know that makes it more difficult to remember, but another agent I work with, she owns Wishes and Waves Travel, so I had to tack my initials on there because the other domain was already taken. So Wishes and Waves Travel LV.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, thank you, Laura, for coming and talking to
welcome.
us. We've had a very great time.
Thank you. It was fun.
Yep.